I just want to start off this video with saying that not playing chess is a skill issue. But I am imagining that all of you here likely have played chess or have currently been playing chess or is an active player. So today we're going to be playing on one of the most popular websites in the world, which is leechess.org. Rather than chess.com, I chose Leechess because I'm already like around 2000 on chess.com, and there are more tournaments where I can beat up 1300s and stuff to show you just how bad you are at chess. But without further ado, I would like to start with a regular 10 plus 0 game. 10 plus 0 is the optimal time control. I don't care what anybody else says, because it is. Because you have enough time to think, and I have enough time to explain the moves. So, we are today going to start with Cute Pearl, who is 1871 from the UK. And Cute Pearl is inactive, sadly. So, it seems like Cute Pearl will run out of time. By the way, for some reason, my extension didn't work, but I guess we'll get a free one. Just give me 3 seconds. Now, thank you, Cute Pro, for playing a fascinating game where I absolutely didn't learn anything. So let's move on to the next game, where we get an opponent who is, luckily, hopefully, active. We have Nidal, 1969, who plays e4. So, let's play the typical e5. I don't prefer the Sicilian, and yeah, let's just go for it. Bishop to c4. This isn't a great opening. It's known as the bishop's opening, and usually here you should respond with knight to c6. Now, knight to f3 transposes into the Italian, where I like to play this bishop to c5 in a way. Knight to f6 is also a possible option here. d3. Now, white is just kind of opening his bishop. Nothing to be worried of. You can just continue with normal development with knight to f6. Now, knight to c3, and we reach a symmetrical position. Now, a great idea is to play h6, d6, or a6. That's usually the plan here. And I'll start with h6 because I don't want to allow bishop to g5. My opponent responds with a similar response, h3, blocking any bishop to g4s in the future when I play this. Now, knight to a4, not such a great move. I can back up. And this is a typical idea you London players should also know, which is, I'll cover it mainly in the analysis of this game. Right now, let me just focus. Lock in. So I just trade bishops, I take back, Not very intriguing stuff going on here, But like, yeah. We have bishop d3. I will castle. Castles. Let's just play d5. And trade potentially if they want to, really. Trading here, I want to mention, as my opponent's thinking, isn't a great idea, because actually I have double pawns, which is bad for me. And if he trades, then he will allow me to undouble my pawns. But on the other side, not trading is also bad because he loses this pawn. So it's up to my opponent. Will he sacrifice the pawn, or will he find the way to defend the pawn, which I'm kind of missing here? Or will he take the pawn? Take my pawn, d5 pawn. Nidal seems to be thinking a little, so I'll just go back a few moves and explain what happened. So, in the Italian, knight to a4 isn't a typical idea, because after, whatever. Queen to e1, interesting move. He's probably, yeah, I kind of missed this. So the problem is, if I take, there's a discovery at the end, which makes him win a pawn. So, I'll have to do something else. And I guess I'll just play some more moves like queen to a8 and go to g6, which I want to mention is impossible with his setup. Bishop to e2, not really doing anything. I'll just play queen to g6, knight to h4 is met with queen to h7. And if he takes, there's obviously that line where I think it's kind of getting complicated. So let's see what his Nidal is going to do. And I want to mention, I'm probably going to lose some of these games, but still. I mean, so Nidal decides to take and win this pawn. And I can't play rook to e8, either rook, because he can take the queen, and I lose a rook for nothing. But if I take here, then I'll have to deal with the c7 pawn. So I'll just play queen to e8, which simultaneously threatens his knight, and it defends the knight so I can take with the queen and attack the c2 pawn. And he decides to go back. So now I wouldn't like to trade because I gave him the file. So I'll just move to interesting choice here. I'll go to d7. And now rook to e8 is on the way because the queen is kind of free. And now I theorize that my opponent will probably see this and move his queen. So also, where did I lose a pawn? Oh, here. So I guess I kind of sacrificed a pawn too. But as you saw, I didn't even see it because it's not that major right now. Rather than that, it's probably helping my queen get around a bit. So you shouldn't be scared of sacrificing pawns if you see that taking it is a worse alternative. My opponent seems to be spending a bit of time on his next move, probably thinking. Usually, knowing and playing a lot of games, people will either move the queen or play a move like this, which is less common because it's just simply worse. Because you don't want to give up your bishop in this kind of position. And basically, you're just doing nothing. So you just give me one move for free, which I'll use to play rook to e8 and dive down onto e2. Now, this is probably expected from any level. They'll play this move. And now you should be thinking a bit after making it, before you're making your next move. So I have maybe this nice move rook to a4, where if queen to c3, there's d4. But then he would just take here and take there, so no. Oh yeah, I'll explain this game in analysis later, so just hang on. It's not that confusing. I guess I'll just try to double my rooks, which is a common idea. No, but then... He's gonna play knight to e5, most likely, so... This is kind of a bad position for me to be in. I'll play rook to d8 so I can counter knight. Okay, he just plays like that. And now, yeah, expected. He's just trying to trade off all the pieces, but actually I'm happy with the draw, so I can't really complain. But this knight is kind of being annoying, so perhaps I have to trade kind of though. So perhaps I'll try to hang on in the knight ending. Yeah, so I have to try to get this position, which is also, I guess, a skill you need when you're playing. He plays knight to d4. See, this is where many people falter. Now I can take my chance. I'll go c5 since my king is closer. It'll be easier for me to trade off the knights. Not trade it off, but eradicate the positioning of the knight. And people usually desperate might play c4, which actually gives me an advantage. Yeah, predicted. So I'll go king to e7, king to d7, then king to c6, and make the knight get out, and then just try to hold, really. He, like many other people, just know that endgames consist of bringing your king to the center, which makes no sense, but okay. He's going on this side, while I'm going on this side, so we can expect kind of a clash. I'll bring my knight back here to defend some of the squares here. He'll go king to f4, I presume. Yeah. And now I'll just play like g6 and protect some of the squares. Oh, I guess I missed that kind of, yeah. That's not great for me. Yeah, I think that I mainly messed that up, but yeah, I definitely messed that up. Yeah, I think we lost this chat. I'll just resign here, yeah. Wasn't a great game, I guess. I don't think there's really nothing to analyze in this game, so I'll just play another one. Okay, we get an 1853 this time. Now I'll just play this for now because I want a quick win. I'm kind of tilted. My opponent's just kind of playing some moves. Doesn't really know what he's doing. Typical stuff in the opening. Just develop all your pieces. Don't get tilted. I'm gonna let my opponent take me, which was a similar strategy in the other game, which you saw. I just want to win this game quickly, kind of. Now I'll play rook to e1 and e5. And now I will strike with e5. Taking... Oh yeah, here's a nice trick. If you take... I think black has queen d4. So... I'll just... Um, what? Wait, what? Okay, he missed it. I'm not sure if that after was right. I have no idea why I played like that, but okay. So he's kind of hasty with trading, that kind of player, so I'll just... When you get these kind of players, you should be thinking about what kind of trades are good for you. Because they'll mainly trade anything, really. But don't trade too much, remember that, because that eradicates your winning chances. Here, I guess I'll trade... I don't want to trade, actually, so... Problem is, I kind of forced. Not really, I'll just play d4 here. I hope this is kind of helping you guys. Not sure really, though. So Daru Shazam seems to be thinking of it. Yeah, expected. As I said earlier, players who trade will trade anything. So I guess I'll take to gain a tempo, though maybe this isn't the best decision. Also, I want to get my rook on the 7th because I know for a fact that he's going to trade off. And now, here's an instructive moment. Well, that's a really weird move. I can play rook to d7. That's even worse. And now here, I'm waiting for a tactical opportunity with knight to e7 and off the rook to d8. And he simply misses this. Our opponent seems to miss this. So I'll just win the game in style by like probably pre-moving every move. And it's just an easy win for me. Try not to pre-move every move because your opponent could play a stupid move and lose a piece, but you don't take it and you lose your piece. So I hopefully don't have a staller in my hands. Doesn't seem so. But they seem to be taking some time for no reason. I would just resign here. In like 800 to 1,000 levels or lower than that, you definitely shouldn't resign here. It's fine if I just lose a few pawns anyway, so I don't really care. It's just a matter of time until I win, really. Opponent seems to try to be attacking my pieces, though that's not the great strategy. Usually, there's a good saying where if you have the stronger side should trade off their pieces, and the weaker side should trade off the pawn. So you should probably try to do that here, but my opponent just seems to try to bring his king, which he notices I don't have the luxury of, but it doesn't really matter anyway. The king is kind of like a weird piece. If you put it into relative value, I'd say it's like worth 0 points. And I mean, there's no other real purpose for it except to be protected. And I just blundered a fork, I think. Imagine my opponent doesn't see it. Whatever, I'm like up 2 pawns anyway. I don't really care. Opponent's probably surprised or something. I don't know. Yeah, they found it. Well, I'm up 2 pawns. You probably shouldn't be this careless when you're at lower levels, but I can now. Because even though he might have a slight advantage, it is not that big of an advantage. Best move here is rook to d8. Play c5, don't really know the purpose of that. So I'm gonna pressure his pawn for a moment. I expect c4, yeah. And now, this is kind of a bad move, but I'm gonna push here. And my idea is that now I can play rook to c5 whenever I really want. And even if he brings his king, it's no matter because I can just play king t3. And my basic idea should try to be trade off the pieces. Because my saying, as I said earlier, was to trade off pieces if you're stronger. So, and my opponent hopefully doesn't know this because he loves trading off pieces, which is a weakness of many players. They just think trading is all in life. But that's not really what happens. And now I expect him to trade, but actually, since it's not, I don't think he actually might not because, oh, never mind. Well, our opponent seems to have fallen into the trap of, well, 3 pawns in a row. That's kind of rare, I guess. We got a triple pawn structure, which is actually pretty unlucky for us. This is literally the worst structure you can have with 3 pawns. But luckily, we have 3 pawns that we can sacrifice, and we're just gonna adore this kind of structure before we go on a rampage. And even if they eat all our pawns, we have 2 more pawns. And we can just pre-move, even though you probably shouldn't. My opponent's probably just gonna try to get a stalemate, which is obviously hopefully not gonna happen. And I'm not that person to do a stalemate for content because I kind of do want to get to 2000. So now I think I can just like move around a bit. And he is forced to play here, where I can play here. Now here, here, and victory is mine. Basically, what's happening here is that queen to g3, g4, g5, g6 is checkmate, so he has to run until he can't run. And that's our easy victory. So I'm just gonna play one more and we'll end the video for today. We have F Paul 1926 with the C4 ident. Oh, well, for some reason I played knight f6, which is kind of a natural reaction, but I guess we're transposing it to a King's Indian, which I usually play, so no worry. I usually play the e5 line, reverse Sicilian, but for some reason I just automatically went to knight f6 when I saw c4. Now this is an odd opening our opponent is kind of cooking up here, because you don't usually play e4. Perhaps it's a line that is kind of used these days. Knight, you should always do knight then pawn, because, well, in this situation specifically too, because now I can just take advantage, expecting bishop to e3, right? And now look at this, this is a cool trick. When I go back, it looks like I lost a tempo, but actually our opponent here lost a tempo. Opponent is thinking for some reason. Okay, that's really odd. That's not a good move at all. Because now queen to g5 and bishop to h3 is threatened. But the queen is there sadly, so I guess not. We play here. I will play bishop to h6. Now threatening this pawn. I'm expecting knight to d5, right? Or I can meet with c6. Oh wait, with c6. May have miscalculated here. Okay, we don't have that. I'm just gonna play c6. Oh, okay. Pawn with bishop to h6 is now knight to f6. So kind of getting a bit sad for me here. No, please don't play queen to f6. Okay, he didn't. You should play queen to f6 there, but yeah, I don't want him to play queen to f6, so yeah. Now I will take advantage of the queen's position. Oh, wait. Okay, well, I can't really now because my bishop. Okay. He didn't have to take. Actually, I think not taking is better. But he took for some reason. You know, that kind of opponent. But he has less of that weird urge. So, you can usually tell if people have that kind of thing. But this guy probably does, but he doesn't show it that much, unlike other people. I don't know what that was. Okay, so he trades. He's probably going to go down to d7, right? No, interesting. Knight to f5 instead. I guess maybe it's to bring my queen away. But I think this is actually better for me because now I get queen to e7 and he can't play queen to d7, which was probably the best move there. Instead, queen to d6 is played. Interesting move. And the idea is that if I take, he has a fork on both my pieces, my pawn and my rook. So I'll not take and I'll play rook to f7. And since his rook is pretty inactive, he can't really do anything other than the queen to b8 check, which can be pretty much regarded as useless. And unlike the other game, I think I have positional advantage here. Interesting move there. I'll play C. He's trying to trick me. Let's play knight to d6. Huh. This is an interesting position because, yeah, I have to back up here. Actually, it's kind of an odd position. Okay, that's an interesting idea because it doesn't really work. I guess it actually does kind of work. I guess I'll play rook to f7. I don't know, this guy's pretty good actually. What? Never mind, I take that back. He's not good. I mean, it is a viable. Oh, never mind. I'm just bad at life, I guess. Because I lost this somehow. I don't know how I randomly just blundered, but that's the reason why I am not 2000, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how I lost it anyway, but I just lost. I mean, never resign, I guess. No, I'll do whatever you say. Okay, well, kind of a bad round for today. Maybe tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I mean, I would like it if you dropped a comment or like, and see you in the next video and check out the next part. So bye.